I can, I didn't can. Hello everyone, welcome back to Ifechi family. Another fun video. We are in Scotland. We are talking about Scotland today. You know, I've told you a few things about us living in England, but actually we started our journey in the UK, in Scotland, in Edinburgh to be precise. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that Scots, some of the things they say, and then in my next video I'll tell you about their culture, because Scots have rich culture. They have things that are, you know, unique with them. I'm going to tell you that in my next video, but today I just want to say some of the things they say and their meanings, okay? And but before then, just briefly, Scots are practical, no-nonsense people with a down-to-earth attitude to life. Yes, they are famous for whiskey, you know, whiskey distilleries. Yes, they are famous for that. Bagpipes, lively music culture, beautiful lochs. Lochs are sort of lakes. Lochs, L-O-C-H-S, lochs. They call it lochs, but it's mainly lakes. They have that across the country. And there's a famous one that we have been to called Loch Lomond. Yes, so that's what Scots, you know, they are. Just briefly about Scottish people. I'm going to tell you more later, but today let us just concentrate on some of the simple things that they say and their meanings. And that was some of the culture shocks we had when we arrived in Edinburgh in the 80s. We spent the first 11 years in Edinburgh before we moved to England. That's where we started our life. So our children, our last three children were born there, because our first son was a baby when we arrived. So when they see you and they will look at you, and you are like, why are they looking at us? Because at that time there were no much black people or Africans in Edinburgh. Let me be talking about Edinburgh. Let me just say Scotland. Let me say Edinburgh, because that's where we lived. And so when they see you, it's like they're looking at you. And some of them will ask you, when they really get to talk with you, they will be asking you where you're from and when are you going back and stuff like that, because maybe they thought you are on holiday or something like that, you know. So they ask those questions. But the children, where I found the children more, you know, friendly at the time anyway, because from what I could see, sometimes they'll come and knock on the door to play with our own children. Although our children, as they got older, when we say that, they say, yeah, we actually experienced some discrimination, but it wasn't anything that is serious. But yeah, they mingled with our children at the time. In fact, when you come to a class, when they take their class photograph, you see one black child sitting or standing there. That's our child, because at that time we are just the only. And then shortly after, we had about one or two more that came around, and then there's more than one of, you know, more children, more Africans in the class. But initially it was just our children in that particular school anyway. So it was something that we had to get used to. And another thing, myself, when I started working in the local hospital, you know, when you work in a hospital, you work with local people. For me, it was a bit challenging, because I have to work in a local hospital with the local people, so their accents were quite deep. I have to get used to their accent. It wasn't that easy for me, but eventually I got used to it. I got the hang of it. And some of the ways they say things and their accent was very, very deep. And the way they say some things is not what you think that they are actually saying. For example, I have some of them I just want to share with you today, which is we, W-E-E. Anything we is small. When you ask them, oh, do you want sugar in your tea or milk in your tea or whatever, they'll say, oh yeah, a wee drop. Just a wee drop, meaning just a little drop. So we is always little. And when you have when you see your child or your baby, they will say, oh, is it a wee laddie or a wee lassie? Laddie is a little boy and lassie is a little girl. So is it a wee lassie or a wee laddie? I'm going to be writing this on the screen just for you to see how these things are actually spelled. And then you obviously tell them, what your child, whether it's a boy or a girl, that's what they mean when they say a wee lassie or a wee laddie. And they refer to women, to ladies, as hen. Hi hen, hello hen. So that means that's how they refer to ladies. So I have to get used to that as well. When they say that somebody is bonny, B-O-N-N-I-E, means that you're beautiful, you're pretty, stunning, attractive, that they use that word. Sometimes you hear them saying, I'm going to the pictures, and you think, I'm going to the pictures. What does that mean? It actually means that they are going to the movies, or we were at the pictures last night, meaning that they were at the movies last night. That's basically what it means. And when they say, oh, I've just been out getting some messages, meaning that they have been out shopping. They've been out shopping, getting some messages means that they've been out shopping. So, and another thing is when they say something like somebody is actually passed away, somebody is dead, they call it deed. Oh, he's dead. That means that the person passed away. And they also call head. I may not even be saying it with the right accent, because obviously I did not even pick up Scottish accent while we are there. Our children did, but they obviously have lost all their accent. Yeah, your head, your head. There's something wrong with your head, means there's something wrong with your head. And another thing, when you talk too much, they say, oh, you're a blether. You're a blether, or stop blethering, meaning stop talking, or you're talking too much. So you're a blether. Or maybe if it's a child, they will say, oh, he's a wee blether, or she's a wee blether, meaning that the person talks too much. So they will say, oh, stop blethering. You're talking, maybe if they think you're talking nonsense most of the time anyway, they'll say, oh, just blethering, meaning that you're just talking too much. So that's something that we also have to get used to. It was more difficult for me, as I said before, working in the hospitals, but yeah, with time we got used to all these things, and the accent, really, really deep. And another thing they say, bra or bra, the way it's actually written is B-R-A-W, but it's called bra. Just similar to bonny, it also means that good, fine looking, good, pretty, pleasant. It means similar. So if you hear bra and bonny, they are similar, they mean similar things, but that's the Scottish way of saying things like that. I'm going to stop this video here. I don't want this to be too long. In my next video, as I say, we are going to bring out some of the Scottish cultures and some of the particular food. I would say that this was the food we enjoyed, Scottish food that we actually enjoyed. That's not a lot. I would say, oh, this is their food. Probably they are aware, but we didn't really get to eat them. But I'll tell you, I think I've mentioned in one of my videos before of their foods that we ate at the time, and we still enjoy from time to time. We still make them, or make the food. I'm going to cover all those in my next video. I don't want this to be too long. So I hope you have gotten one or two things from this video. I can, meaning I know that you have gotten something from this video. See you in my next one, when we have more update regarding Scottish and people, and they call Scots. When you hear people say Scots, that means Scottish people. Yeah, okay then. Speak to you again soon about something different about them. Goodbye and God bless.